Do that!
Exactly. The story of my life.
Alright, so anyway. Hello, welcome again, and we're back here with Adaptations. It's me, Truffle, and today I'm joined by...
Your boy Deluxe, man.
Addison.
And our new guest...
Quirky!
Yay! And so this
Curly
time...
soul.
We don't have to get all the
Curly
extra
soul.
in there.
Okay.
I'm not really.
Curly.
I'm not good with the talking. That's why I'm the moderator, or mediator, whatever the word is. Anyway, it's me. So we are. So the title of this movie is Secret Life of Bees. Yeah, Secret Life of Bees.
Of the bees.
Yes. No, there's no D. There's no
What?
D in the
It's
title.
just
No, hold
on.
Secret Life of Bees.
Of bees.
Screw that.
That was unnecessary.
It's like
I think it was very necessary.
a novel by Suman Kid, and it's like an motion movie picture that stars Dakota Fanning, Queen
Latifah, and that's it.
It's
Alicia
like and
Keys.
Alicia Keys,
And
Jennifer
that's it.
Hudson,
Oh, wait.
and Sophie
Oh,
Okonedo. I'm sorry if I butchered
Famous
that
black
name.
actors.
Yeah, famous black actress. So first off, what were your thoughts on the film, just in general, right now? And we'll get into the characters.
I thought it was well produced. I enjoyed it overall. Like the drama going on, I felt like it had a underlying theme going with it. And I'm just an easy soul when it comes to these black films. I don't know why. I just get more into them. 1960s black folk are struggling. They're overcoming the odds. That's what I like.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel the opposite.
You feel the opposite?
Yeah.
No, because me, it's like I'm not one for films with a lot of drama in it, and I'm certainly not one for nigger this, nigger that,
Never.
and then it's them colors. And don't get me wrong, I get it happened. I'm not gonna pretend it didn't happen, but me, it was like, okay, so I'm back in history class again.
And it's February. Remember,
Oh.
the only time we're talking about this is in February.
Yep, black
Yep.
people get a whole month.
Whole month. And what about you, Quirky?
I liked it. I usually don't do chick flicks, to be perfectly honest.
This was a chick flick?
It wasn't a chick flick, but it was more emotional than I usually do.
So it was more geared toward the female audience.
I guess you could say that, but I guess the story could have actually been a bit more universal if the roles were switched gender-wise.
If it was a black
So
boy.
Dakota Fanning was black and everybody was white. So
No,
like,
the gender, not
no,
race.
no.
Gender,
Gender roles.
not
As
race.
in-
Gender
oh,
roles were
If
switched.
Dakota Fanning
it was a boy,
was a
and then it
boy.
was okay. Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
still named Dakota. But anyway, I thought...
I got confused. I'm sorry.
I think the film was alright. It's like alright. When it came out, I wasn't like in this theaters like, yay! This is for us. No, it was.
So now the real question is, did it do that? Was it a good adaptation?
Was it a
from
good?
the
Oh,
book?
was it a good adaptation?
And then the first question.
Oh well, my first question. We'll get into whether it's a good adaptation at the very end. I would like, throughout actually. First off, we're going to talk about Lily Owens, who is played by Dakota Fanning, and she is our main protagonist and our narrator through most of what's happening. She runs away from home with her black friend and with her black nanny, we're going to say, because that's Rosaline, to find out the truth about her mother. What did you think about her character development? When is again so forth? We'll start off with that.
Okay, well, apparently she ran away from home because she had a dark hole in her heart about, my mother is dead and it's all my fault, and she really wants to know why. So she came to the house of the
Boatwrights.
The Boatwrights, who all had names.
That's her name.
Yeah,
I forgot all about that. That's like the boat
Right.
That's her last name. That's the four black women's last name is a
And
Boatwright.
their names are names from the calendar.
Calendar. There's
That's an awkward last name. I've never heard of that last name.
Boatwright.
Yes,
Yeah, it kind of sounds country.
I guess.
I don't know. I
I've
mean,
never heard of
Boatwright.
I mean, there's been a lot of names. It's just me. It just caught me off guard. It was like, wait, who are the Boatwrights? Oh, wait, that's right.
Because you never
When you
hear
were
them
saying
talk
it.
about them by their names. But go on.
Yeah,
what
but
their last name.
pretty much the whole story is just finding out, okay, who is my mother, and does she really love me, or does she try to get away from me?
And do these people know?
And these people know who they are. And throughout the story, the story, if I'm not mistaken, you can correct me wrong, is that she was dealing with this pain of, okay, she doesn't love me anymore, and I guess she went through some struggles with, with
who my mom is? Did she love me?
Well, like to clarify, she was killed. It's like she is dead by the beginning of the. It's like in the beginning of the movie, and the whole question is whether or not she loved her or not, because because of things that happen.
Right, and I guess to me, I kind of felt sympathetic for her because as a baby, she shot her mom. That's a very traumatic, and she did. It's a very traumatic experience. What?
No, go on. Okay, I was saying, well, to change that in the book, basically, she didn't shoot her mom. Her dad just said that because he didn't know what to say about the gun. What happened was the pistol fell and it discharged on its own.
Oh.
But the police, when the police asked, it would have to be either him or her. There wasn't really a concept that it just fell and because
guns don't do that.
Guns don't do that.
Guns don't drop on the floor.
It would have been more complicated. So it was just easier to say that she picked it up and she shot her.
Wow. Okay.
So but they don't. But that's not the whole point.
Yeah, but she's carrying around that weight.
But she's carrying around the weight that she killed her mother because he told her that she killed her mother.
Mm-hmm. And then one of my favorite lines actually came from May, where she talked about how a honeybee carries all this weight within 4 or 5 days it dies. So that's kind of a symbolism. If you carry all this weight throughout your life, you're not going to live very well. So you have to let go and live. And that's kind of the whole progression of her character. And eventually, I think she was cool. Not my personal favorite, but I enjoyed her.
Addison?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I mean, there was just a lot of stuff where there was like 6 different subplots that they talk about that get stretched in an hour period, and then at the last 20, resolve. Mm-hmm. And the only problem I had is like there wasn't good pacing to me.
Like with Lily?
Well, because it's like, okay, something bad happens, she breaks her Negro friend out of the hospital jail. Then they find the house. Once they find the house of where her mother used to be, then it's make honey. Make honey, make honey, make honey. See if her dad's okay. He's not. Make honey, make honey. Oh, I have a love interest. Make honey, make honey. And then right at the last 20, we get all this information. Besides that one other time where she asked one of the sisters, did you know her? Or who this woman is? Her name was blank. I figured there would have been like every 10 minutes of the film, hey, ask a question. Hey, was this my mom's? Hey, something else. But instead
she was also lying.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean, I get that she was lying, but I figured she would have done some investigation. She would have asked some questions, or especially when you find out that
she would have been a little Sherlock Holmes, like,
Well, it's
if my mother stayed here.
Well, it's just, I mean, what was she supposed to do? Especially since she was apparently there for 3 months. So you're telling me she was
3 months.
No, so you're telling me she was just there. It's like, well, my mom was here.
She didn't even know if her mom was truly there. She was just on a hush because that was the picture that she had, like the picture on the honey jar.
Yeah.
Oh no, I get that
it was
too.
The same picture that was in that box that was explained in the movie.
Okay, let's go with that then.
Yeah.
So you're saying that? I think my mom's living here. 1 month later, did she live here?
Yeah.
Another month goes by.
Another month goes by. I think my mom lived here. Really? You were not going to get...
But she had nowhere else to go,
it was
though.
more of a
What was she going to do,
healing-
go back to her house?
No, I get that, but I mean, technically she doesn't have to stay there. And I mean, technically, yeah, she has a place to live, but I mean, the whole purpose of her leaving was to find out. So she just comes there, hey, I got a place to live. Hey, did my mom live here? Maybe. Okay, well, it's not like I'm going home. I mean, I figured she was going to do something to figure out more about what happened, or find some clues, or find some evidence, or something, but it seemed like, okay, we're here. Now let's talk about bees. Let's talk about the wall. Let's talk about that chick made of wood for church. Let's talk about the black boyfriend, which is a no-no.
We'll get to him later.
We'll get to him later. You're jumping all over the place. Quirky?
Lily was, I mean, you could like kind of see her progression of how much she had matured by the end of the movie compared to the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because like at the beginning she was more, I guess, childish. You could see she had like maybe a little bit of wisdom or maybe a little bit of sense with her.
Yeah.
But by the end she was a bit more, I guess, I don't know what other way to say it, but
Calm.
like more of an adult about things.
At peace.
Because even when her dad came at the end, even though he was like angry at her and she was like still kind of afraid of him, she still treated him with respect and she wasn't just jumping all over him like she might have done before she had left.
Right, at the beginning of the movie, she literally told him, "I hate you." And like, at the end of the movie, she's just like...
She was being childish. She kind of grew up over that period of time.
Yeah.
I mean, her whole purpose for leaving was to find her mother, which she didn't really ask about till towards the end of the movie. But... but she was...
So what did you say? So did you know that Lily wanted to be a writer? Was that ever prevalent in the...
Actually, the only...
Nope.
The only time I actually got that hint is because her love interest at some point mentioned like, hey, maybe you can use this to write a book. And
Actually,
then
it was like when they were talking about their future.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, she didn't see much of a future for her. And he mentioned like, oh, well, since you want to be a writer, don't writers imagine things? Before that, no one had said anything.
Well, no indication we got she wanted to be a writer.
In the book, it's more prevalent because she's writing this, and it's like her memoirs of what happened a long time ago, and it's very important to her because that is how we know what's going on. But since it's a movie, I guess they didn't think that it was.
All you know is like it's her point of view.
Yeah,
it's not like, and you couldn't see that it was like her memoirs because it was in Dakota Fanning's voice.
Yeah.
Dakota Fanning was narrated. It wasn't like there was another woman.
Yeah, not an older woman.
Not
an older woman recalling her memories.
Yeah.
They didn't give that off.
I mean, hell, it didn't even end with like an older Dakota Fanning writing in a book, and then it so happens like, hey, honey, are we going to the whatever? And then it just so happens to be Zach or something.
I would have liked to see that.
And then it's like,
cool.
almost done writing my bestseller. Then done.
And then my next question and then we'll go on, is like, what did you think about Dakota Fanning in the role of Lily Owens? Did she do a good job?
5 out of 5.
Huh? 5 out of 5?
She did great.
Yeah, she was a great actor. Absolutely.
The problem to me wasn't with her.
It was
the directing. It was how it was produced. Yeah.
Like, what did you find as a problem movie-wise?
Movie-wise?
Yeah.
Wow. Pacing. I just felt like it took a while for everything to get off the ground, but when it did... It was like, okay, fine. But by the time it was like, well, about time this happened.
Yeah.
But that was it. This is the pacing.
That her dad took 3 to 4 months.
That's what I'm saying.
To find her. Oh my gosh. Like, before we sat down and watched this, I've only seen like the tail end.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else I kind of knew about because my mom was actually in the book club and she had read the book. So I know she wanted to see this movie. But other than that, I'm just like, it took you 3 to 4 months to see the faded imprint of where the map was, and you saw where the tack was, where the map was, and then it's like, you thought to put together, oh, there was a map here. Let's see where that little tack was, where the map was here. And you figure it out. The movie's almost over by now. Mm-hmm. His daughter could have been dead somewhere. By then, she had been gone for like months. You have to kind of think about that because, like, in the movie, you think it's maybe like, oh, maybe it's a couple weeks. But then you say it's like, oh, she left at the beginning of the summer and school's about to start. What?
Well, no. See, that's why I didn't like that part of the movie because they never actually explained. You got to like dig to figure out. Oh wait, summer started. Oh wait, this is when the signature was signed when Martin Luther King did blank. So that means mathematically that it's been a week. I don't know.
The book is vague on the actual events of it because it has to be because the suspension of disbelief. So you don't get too you don't dive in too much into historical facts about it.
But as far as like in the movie, if you don't construct your world, then I can't get into it. I don't know how. No,
what you mean is like if you don't, polish your world because you can construct anything.
No, I mean,
but it just be wobbly.
Not really. I mean, this thing, I have no idea. Like, is it summer? You said it was summer.
The time frame aspect was
okay. They said it was summer.
Well,
All right.
it was hot.
And
That doesn't mean anything. They were in the South. For all I know, this is winter right now.
It's also South Carolina. It's not Texas. It doesn't really snow in Texas. In South Carolina, it actually snows.
No, but
So
all
like-
all I'm saying
It
is,
helps out a little bit, but
all
still.
I'm saying is, it's in the South. For all
And they kept
I
like
know,
playing up the heat to be like really hot. I'm like,
Hey,
really?
like I said,
Really,
all
it's
I'm
that
saying
hot?
is, we're in the South. All that tells me is, for all we know, it's hot. It could be Christmas right now. For all I know. So, because they didn't tell me.
All right, so we're gonna go on to our next actress and our next character, August Boatwright, our leading lady by Queen Latifah. Now, my first question about her is like, do you think that she is considered the magical Negro?
By
Can
magical
I have
Negro.
more of an explanation on the magical Negro?
Yeah.
Because when
Here's-
I thought of her character,
here's a
I
good-
thought of more of a mammy character.
Yeah.
Mammy.
Well,
Yeah, I
well,
like the
by
mammy.
by definition.
By definition.
Have you ever seen the movie The Legend of Bagger Vance?
No.
No.
Okay, the long story short is there was this. I think it was Matt Damon.
It was Matt.
Matt Damon
some
was-
white boy that wanted to
my
learn
God.
golf, right?
Yeah.
No,
Alright.
it's like Matt Damon was a pro golfer, but then they wanted him to represent him in some competition and whatever, and he wasn't gonna do it. And one day, while he was on the golf course, some black dude shows up named Bagger Vance and was teaching him the ways of putting the ball and learning how to do it right. And then by the end of the movie, when he wins the tournament, he just disappears, and no one knows where this black guy come from, and no one mentions him besides Matt Damon's character. So it's that whole idea. It's like the black guy that comes to help the white guy that so happens to have all the answers and leaves without a trace. Pretty much a black Mary Poppins, but no one remembers him but the one person that they came to help.
Okay.
Well, it's like, so the magical Negro is coined by that, and it's also in other types of media like The Shining, and I can't. They say The Help as well, but but in this case, they say a black person that is helping out a white person, and that seems to have all the knowledge and wisdom and answers for them, but all they is again has all the time to help them spend finding it out. That's the basic core of what a magical Negro is. But to be but yours is more
But-
accurate.
Latifah's character kind of fits that.
Maybe. Just a little bit.
I don't think
I
so.
think she's more just a mother with a wise type that's taking care of everybody.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
seems more like a stereotypical mammy.
Pretty
Mama.
much.
She's like the mother of everyone in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Because she takes care of her. She's kind of like, she's almost pretty much like the breadwinner
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the house. But
She
she
was
like
like-
take care of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just don't like the magical Negro thing because I get the definition, but me, the only one where it actually makes sense
Yeah.
to me is in Bagger Vance, because this is a grown man that's needing help from a stranger
Okay.
that happens to be black. Well, in The Shining, no, that was a kid. He was helping a kid out.
Yeah.
Kids learn
Alright.
from people. Same in this. This is a kid. The woman's taking care of her.
She's learning.
She's learning.
Yeah.
That happens. Now the Bagger Vance thing is like, well, there's no reason for this angel that happens to be black to show up, besides the fact that it did. But you know, I mean, I will admit there's that whole like, oh yes, if you have questions, I have answers. But she's 40 something years older
old.
than this girl. Why wouldn't it? It's like, did you know why the sun sets? Nope. Go to bed. That would have been a short movie.
Also, so August Boatwright is the matriarch of the family. She's the breadwinner. She's the one she's the beekeeper. She does everything with the bees and the honey, and she manufactures them. She sells them, and so.
Yeah.
And so my question is that my thing that I had a problem with is that they didn't expand on how on who she was as a person. It kind of like her life started at when Lily showed up.
Right.
When
They kind of did. Like, one thing they did was about the house. It was painted color. She color pink. And she pretty much said, I think the color is tacky. Because May likes pink and it makes her happy.
Just because my sister liked it, I picked
but-
it. Actually, they did explain in the film, but again, it's one of those, you got to pay so close attention to figure out
Okay.
important details that they don't talk
explain it, but
about.
they
Well,
don't
yeah.
elaborate
I
on
would
it.
wish they would
Yeah.
elaborate it because she was the first one of the sisters to go to college, and she was the first one in her family to go to college, and she's very educated. And the reason, and when we get to June, or I'll just say right now, the reason June was so resentful of, sorry, the reason she was so resentful of Lily's mom was because that she had. It's like, why does this educated black woman have to still work for a white family as a nanny? So
Right.
it's like, as a nanny, she should be out doing
Her own thing.
her own thing.
Yeah, because a lot of people hire an educated.
That does make a lot of sense too.
Well, I mean, I get that, but they also even said in the film about the whole like, oh well, when so and so died, my parents bought the house, and then when they died, they gave it to me, and that's why I have this, and I made bees. I'm not bees. I made honey.
I mean, she can make
Maybe.
bees.
Yeah.
She's
Then she
Jesus.
really is the magical Negro.
Yeah. Poof.
All right, but
Bippity boppity bees.
but what did you think about August Boatwright? All of you is a deluxe
I mean,
man or Quirky,
Go ahead.
whoever.
It doesn't matter. You can go.
All right. She was cool, very likable character. Very easy to see. Thank you, Queen Latifah, playing the role very well. That she's very loving. She loves everybody, and she's a caretaker. Yeah, and I think Queen Latifah was like that was the woman to play her very well. So, I mean, what do you think about it, Addison?
I don't. Okay, let me be clear.
Okay.
Queen Latifah did a great job as
Yeah.
her role. However, it's the same role that she plays in half of her movies.
Not in Chicago.
Yes, yeah, actually, yeah, it was.
Actually, in a little bit, in a sense.
Well,
yeah.
'cause
It was
I mean,
more. It's like Chicago.
no.
She was corrupt.
No, every single movie, she's the same chick. She's either sassy black woman, like in Taxi, where it's like, I ain't taking no shit from nobody. Who the fuck are you? Or she's the quiet, reserved, I could hit you, but I won't.
But I won't.
Like in Stranger Than Fiction, where she's taking care of the writer in
Oh
there.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's one of the two. I never see her play like this crazy role. Hell, even in Valentine's Day, she was the reserved,
I could hit you.
why? I could fire you, but I won't.
Or in Bringing Down the House, she was the other type you was talking.
Sassy
I ain't
black.
taking no shit.
Yes, you can kiss my natural black ass because and I'm like I said, not saying she's not a good actor. I'm just saying from all the movies I've seen, and I like those movies. I see two roles.
Maybe that's why I thought she was perfect for the role, because that's how we see her. But yeah, do you think she was good? Did she was
Oh no, like I said, she did a good job. It's just hard for me to be like, oh man, I truly, I believed that she was August
Boat right.
Boat right.
Boot right.
Boat right.
Boat right.
Put some little twang in it. Boat right.
About right.
Boat right.
Curly,
Quirky.
Quirky.
What's your Curly? What you think about it?
Cute. We'll call her cute. Curly cute.
Okay. I mean, she was good. She played her role. She was basically the mother figure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not much to say about her just strictly based on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just she was the mama. She took care of her. She took care of everyone else. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
there's
it.
not
I
much
mean,
to say about
there's not much to say about her because not much is said.
Okay.
it. Yeah.
She's there. She doesn't
She.
talk about herself. Not much is said about her.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way you kind of get a sense of her is through her actions.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not much verbally said, or there's not much like of you see of just her by herself,
Yeah.
or of anyone else talking about her.
Yeah. And in the book, that was the same way, but they elaborated about how, because Lily was talking to the sisters and talking to other people that came by the house, and that's how we learned about the so and so. And I felt like they should have done. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to tap things. Anyway.
Well,
But the point is in the book. And it's like in the book, like it's like I felt like in the movie they could have elaborated more,
Yeah.
like they did in the book.
They probably cut it all out for time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was already an hour and 46 minutes long.
Yeah.
So,
and all that in within 3 hours long, perhaps.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I
Next
know, but
question.
okay.
Because you don't see anybody come over to the house. other than the women that had church,
Church.
and Lily's daddy.
Yeah.
No one comes to the house.
And Zach and Neil.
Okay.
No, Zach works there, so
So
that's...
Zach, who works with her on the bees,
Actually, why did Neil come besides being romantically interested in one of the characters?
He was fixing cars.
Oh,
and then,
yeah, he was the
being
mechanic.
June's love interest that she kind of sort of didn't want.
At first, yeah.
No, she
wanted him. She
liked
was
him.
being
She just
stubborn.
wouldn't marry
Yeah.
him.
Which is like, speaking of June Boatwright, played by Alicia Keys.
Her, yeah.
So let's talk about her, because we had an ongoing discussion on whether or not she played that she learned the cello or not for this role. I say she did. I was like, of course she did.
Well, Alicia Keys is musically inclined, so you would think it'd be easier for me to make the transition from piano
A musical
to cello.
genius.
Yeah.
Isn't she?
No,
She can play more than one
I
instrument.
don't. Well,
Isn't she like a multi-instrumentalist?
She is.
anyway?
Yeah.
she plays the piano and she plays the drums. That's the one thing that I know for sure.
She also plays
That she-
trumpet. She knows how to play brass.
It's like trumpet, brass. Now, I'm not sure if she put the cello on her fine list, even though some of us think she did.
Hey, all
I
I'm
think
saying,
she
All
did
I'm
for the
saying
movie.
is,
There-
I wouldn't be shocked if she did. That's all
I'm saying there's no proof that you have that suggests that she learned this before or knew already.
I don't think
It's
it
in my
matters.
heart.
She played it pretty.
Well, that's
I'll
that's
say also
assuming she did.
That's just,
They
because
could put some music on it.
You know, the funny thing is, we only saw her play like a couple of notes, and they panned away, so she.
I
might
only
have
saw
not
her tune the thing, and I'm not even sure if that was right. And then she went, and the camera was not showing her doing the thing with the fingers.
with the
and-
thing with the fingers.
I don't know. I'm not the musician
Fingering
in the
bass,
group.
fingering and
Well,
everything.
But anyways, my thoughts about June.
Yeah, June Boatwright.
Pretty much, she came in all hardcore. She had her shields up. Nobody could touch her. She didn't have her feelings hurt. And I guess the story was, over time, as the events unfolded, she would let her shields down. She would show how she really is inside. And the movie kind of did that, but I don't, again, the movie doesn't elaborate on a lot of stuff, and I think that hurt her a lot more, because this one scene when she was playing with Lily, with the water hose and stuff like that, she actually lets loose, she's having fun, and then she lets out, she's crying because she just had a fight with her boyfriend just the other day. But that's, the only indication we get of her. That's just okay, now she's actually starting to let her shields down, she's starting to get less, what's the word I'm looking for? She's starting to be more open.
Less of a hard ass.
Less of a hard ass, whatever.
That's her.
Yeah, I mean,
her.
I guess again, Alicia Keys played her role
Oh
well.
no, she's being vulnerable. There we go.
Vulnerable. There it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, she played her role very well. I just don't think they did enough to really make me. Oh, she's I'm behind her.
It's like she only came in here to be a bitch for a bit, and then she walks away.
So you could say
a little
that.
bit.
Because I was going to say that, but no, that would have been sexist. Okay.
No, because she wanted to get Neil. What's his name, right? Neil. Neil's trying to get this girl to marry her.
Him.
Neil's trying to get this girl to marry him.
Because that's not legal yet.
Actually, I got a question about that.
Yeah.
They never talked about that either, because they just said he wants to marry her and she won't, but they didn't go with
that's
how
the
many
question I was
times.
going to ask you.
How many times did he ask her?
Oh, in the
A
book,
lot.
it's just a lot.
Because I mean, more than once is already enough.
They said first it was we should get married. Ha ha ha, no. And then then he actually asked and she said no, and he keeps coming back. Which for me, I'm like, why do you keep coming back if she says no? That should be the end of it, right?
Been for me.
I mean, yeah, for you.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's look, this is just personal. For me, it's look, if you say, will you marry me? And she says no. Then there needs to be a conversation.
Yeah.
There needs to be a, well, why is it a no? And then almost any reason, I don't know any scenario where there's a good enough nah besides, oh, I'm still married. That's the only one I can think
she
of.
never elaborated on why she said no. She just said no.
Which is the question I was going to ask. Is why do you think if you from this movie alone, and not from anything I'm going to tell you later on, but from this movie alone, why do you think she didn't want to get married?
Well, hold on.
She was scared.
Just that?
Honestly, because it's she got defensive when he kept asking her about it.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason you would get defensive is because you don't want to really let someone in. I would imagine she was just scared and she wouldn't let herself admit that she was scared.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know anything about her background or anything.
Yeah,
What happened beforehand because the movie doesn't tell you. All you just know is like she's kind of like a.
We just know she learned the cello.
She just all you really know about her is that she's kind of like I guess the beginnings of a modern day independent black woman. That's all you really see. Mm-hmm. You see her as like really independent, very strong willed, kind of like something you would see kind of commonly now. Mm-hmm. She looks like that's what her character seems to me, the beginning of that kind of independent black woman, black power mindset. Mm-hmm. Whereas everyone else is more kind of docile and more calm. She's just like, she's going to tell it like it is, she's going to tell it straight, and she's not going to care if she hurts your feelings or not. Very independent. Mm-hmm. But whereas when it comes to marriage is more, I guess, in her mind would probably be more traditional, and whereas she's trying to be more independent and like fighting against stereotypical traditions or whatever, I can kind of see why she wouldn't want to get married.
Because now she has to be dependent.
Because she has to be kind of dependent on someone else.
Gotcha.
And she's like very independent, like
I don't need a man. Yeah.
We're gonna register to vote. We're doing all these things. I don't necessarily need a man. This is like I'm a modern woman doing my own thing. Whereas like in order to really love him and it's kind of to be conventional. I can kind of see how she could be like scared of her own love for him.
So what you're saying is for her to show love is like to show weakness then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I think for her like to show love would be to show weakness.
Gotcha.
Or love
That
for
would
a
have
man.
been nice if the film would have explained any of that.
Again, that's what
I mean, I don't need it written. I don't need it spoon fed to me. But it's like all I got was it's like, will you marry me? No. Will you marry me? No. Why? 'Cause bye, bitch. That's her subplot. That's it.
Okay, well,
one of the problems in the movie overall.
Well, also let's take it back like to the whole thing of why June was pissed off at Deborah. Deborah pissed off at Lily?
Okay.
The whole thing is like August the first one to go. June is the second one to go and get her teaching degree and everything. So yeah, she is the beginning. Like Quirky said, she is the beginning of the modern black woman. And it's like, and she might be feeling vulnerable because it's like marriage could feel like a trap. It's like entrapment for her, or it just seems like she's going a step backwards instead of forward, in her career. And this is the beginnings of like being as a woman, a career-oriented woman. Because we have to remember that also in the 1960s, we're just leaving the 50s, and women are starting to be like, oh yeah, I don't have to be at home behind the kitchen. So we need to. So I say we take that also an effect of her being stubborn, and also that she might really does love him and really does want to be with him and do all the thing, but it goes against what she initially wanted. We could say that, but we don't know.
Yeah, but see,
the movie never lays it out
again.
But see, that's my point. The movie just has it so that there's. I mean, I'm not saying that these subplots aren't good. It's just that since there's so many of them, every single one is watered down. Hell, each one of the subplots is its own movie.
Yeah.
But instead, it's like, okay, let's fit all 6 of these movies in one, but we don't have time to explain or elaborate on anything.
Except for one character.
Which we still don't.
Not quite.
Except for the narrator, of course.
Yeah.
And then
and one other one that we'll get to in a second.
Yeah, and that is a. So what do you have to say about June?
No, it was just. I mean, June. I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, she's just the she's the stereotypical. I don't trust nobody. I mean, I don't know what that. I mean, I'm gonna just say bitch. But,
Yeah, she was.
But
she was.
I mean, she's
bitch is like the negative points of being assertive and
yeah. I mean, well, that's why I did want to use the word because I mean, the best way I understand is like, I'm just going with how she acted. She did not trust anybody. Mm-hmm. She saw no reason to take care of.
No, she didn't trust white people, and
I don't know. They didn't. They never established that she didn't like white people.
The lawyer was white.
Yeah.
Well, no. What I mean is, it's like if it was just, I don't trust white people, then why did she have a problem? Then why did she have a problem with letting that other chick in?
Rosalie?
Yeah.
And I don't think she is in the book she didn't have a problem with Rosalie. She just had a problem with Lily, and she just because she knew that she was lying. Like they said in the beginning, they know that she's
but
full
then,
of it.
But then again,
so,
that's the part right there. Is it that she wouldn't let her in because she's white, or because she knows she's lying?
It was white and lying, I think.
They never established.
Well, in the book, it was white and lying, but and
there was like that one scene.
How many just one scenes?
That one scene, because it's like right after they decide to take them in. You see August and June talking, and it's just like June's like, why did you let her in here? Like, I don't like this. And she's just, and August just like, let me just do this one thing. I feel like I need to help her.
Yeah.
That was like the one indication that I was like, okay, I don't like her because she's shady.
But again, that doesn't elaborate. It doesn't.
But also, that's another thing, because it's like there's another scene where it's more where they kind of say it's June has a problem because she's white, and that was when she was going up to the Black Madonna to touch her hand in Lily's face, she stops playing the cello because she's cello. Is it for the whole ceremony? Is it for the whole? What is it? Church was happening.
Yeah, but then
and because Lily was gonna go touch it, it was like that's not yours. It's our thing.
Yeah, but again, she never said that, and there wasn't a scene of talking to August like, how dare the white devil think she can do this?
No, the whole thing is the interpretation was because she stopped playing.
Hey, look,
and she was like, and it was an
abrupt
start.
August like scolded her right then and there, like,
hey, what's wrong
with you? Why did you stop playing?
Yeah.
No, I get it, but it's that whole like, since so much is left to interpretation and nothing is elaborated on or even. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not move. I'm not saying
enough to grab.
It's like for me, it wasn't enough for me to be invested because it's just okay. She stopped playing. It might be because she's white, or it might be because she's a liar. It might be because she's has blonde hair. I don't know.
A deeper dark secret to her.
It might be because she has some resentment about something else that happened. Because something. But instead, it's just I'm supposed to assume that this is happening when this is not what the movie is for. I'm not supposed to walk into the movie, well, I'm assuming that they lived happily ever after, or a meteor hit their house and everybody's dead. Because I can assume a lot of stuff.
It's like June's representing the extreme black side, as they are also the extreme black side, where there's also the extreme white side, where it's the racist and the Negro. Then it's the extreme black, where it's caution, distrust, and also racist on her own terms. A little is a prejudice. So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. I just think there wasn't nothing to chew on for.
There was nothing. Yeah. The movie.
There's nothing to chew on because she's not a three-dimensional character. No. It's all it is I don't trust him and I can't marry you.
I'm independent. That's why.
So it's like bitch, walk away. bitch. Come back and walk away.
Then cry, let your shields down. Let's get married now.
And kind of be bitchy about
still
that.
Still be bitchy about that. About the ring.
Right.
Oh my god.
Alright, so then so now we're gonna talk about the last sister, well, second to last sister, whatever. May, played by Sophie Okonedo.
I believe that's her name.
I believe that's how you say her name. Alright, she plays May, and May is the youngest of the three original sisters. Mm-hmm. Of the three original sisters, she had a sister. May also had a sister named April, but we'll get to her later on. And her twin. So so let's talk about her and like how was her character? How did you feel about her character?
Well, in terms of investment, this one to me was the best one.
May?
Yeah. I felt like they gave her a backstory. She's already psychologically damaged because she lost her other sister.
Yeah.
Of course, the whole, it's the 6th season, black folk are treated badly, so that's messing with her. And every single time something emotional comes around, she would break down and go to the wall. So you really feel for her. It's just like, oh, poor May. But she still had her sense because she was still helping everybody out. And then the whole thing with her committing suicide at the end, that was just like, tugging on your heartstrings. So to me, I think she definitely was the best one. I enjoyed her very much.
Addison?
I can't say much about her. I thought I had more to say about her, though.
Well, no, it's she wasn't a bad character, and it was good. It's just half of the movie. I was like, because all they did is just kept saying, she's special, she's touched, she's different, and then again, it wasn't until like halfway. It was like, now we get an explanation why. It's because twin sister died, trauma. and then that affected her about that. And then I was like, okay, that's great. And then, you know, apparently there was supposed to be a mystery about the wall, but then they at least explained that.
Yeah.
You know, and then the only part I had a problem with was the suicide part. But
Really?
that's more of a technical thing, not that her killing herself. I get it.
Yeah.
I get why she did it. I know why she did it.
Mhm.
It's how she did it that I was a bit confused. Because I'm like, how did that? Wait, so
She drowned herself in a lake? Was it a lake that she drowned herself?
A creek.
Stream.
Stream.
Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's shallow.
Yeah, I mean, like she could get up at any point in time.
But that's
And
what I
so-
don't understand. Because there was blood on the side of the.
There was
river.
blood. I thought it was just.
I thought it was just trinkets or something.
Yeah,
No,
it was
'cause
too
there
dark
was-
for me to see,
well,
but I
'cause-
have glasses.
Well,
on,
because
so.
the scene starts and you look, and then there's pieces of paper, a pencil, her jewelry, her shoes, and then the flashlight turns up on the other side of the river or the
Yeah.
creek or whatever.
Mhm.
And then it's something red,
Mhm.
and then next
So-
thing you know, you turn to your right, and then there she is underwater with a rock on top of her that's keeping her underwater.
Right.
And me, I don't know. I mean, I'm not exactly a psychological problems expert or anything,
Or
but
about-
I don't get how it's like, okay, you want to die, you get a rock, put it on top of you to keep you under.
Yeah.
So you were able to lift the rock to get to that stream, to put it on you, and at no point were you
Well,
like,
you'll be weaker.
Okay,
It's like
yeah.
you'll be weaker once. It's like after you've been in there for a while and you're losing air. So the adrenaline you might be able to push it off, but that's only if you're lit. If you're not fighting what?
Girl, keep
What?
going.
no, we heard a crash or something.
Oh, there was a crash. Do I need a pause?
Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Again.
All right. So raccoon. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, but you were saying about the whole idea of the suicide part. Yeah.
Well, I don't mind that it ends with her killing herself.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense in the plot.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense, especially when you find the letter. You know, not only was there a reason why she did it, but she also explained why she did it, and it made sense to her character
Yeah.
and to the plot itself.
And to the context of the times, which is what I wanted to say, because when it comes to all the characters, it's actually just like she's the one that makes sense with what's wrong
With the time
struggling-
period.
Yeah, it's the time period. She's the one that shows the struggle, what happens during this time, and yeah. So,
But you know, my only problem is just, and it's a nitpicky problem. It's just the whole, how does that kill yourself?
Well,
after
just
a
the
while,
rock.
that wears on you.
Huh?
Well,
No, what I mean is like, I get that. Oh well, if you are underwater enough, you will drown,
Yeah.
obviously. But that's like, but drowning in that.
it's gonna be
creek-
painful. Period.
Well, no, it's like drowning in that creek is like drowning yourself in the tub. You can do it,
Yeah.
but I mean, theoretically, there's nothing stopping her from jumping out of the water besides wanting to die.
Yeah.
But at some point, isn't her body gonna reject it?
No,
or
her
is-
body. That's the hard part. Well, that's the thing. When you're underwater, the body will reject. Your body will reject anything that means that you're trying to. That's trying to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
On, it's like on just on average.
Mhm.
But like, I say, but if you have the willpower to just say, nope, this is happening.
Well, did that happen in the book?
Huh? Oh yeah, but she didn't knock herself out and throw a rock on. She just went to the creek, laid down like she was gonna go to sleep, and put the rock on top of her, and that was how she died. And she just decided, it's like in the whole thing, the rock was to steady her and make sure that she wouldn't float up,
Mhm.
because even if she wanted to, I think it's like even if she wanted to like drown herself, period. At some point in time, she'll float back up. So that was to keep her
Yeah,
from
but-
not floating back up.
So you're saying that the rock was heavy enough to keep her down,
yeah.
but she was strong enough to pick it up and place it on herself.
She's very technical about
You're
it. She committed suicide. That's what.
Makes my brain hurt.
Yeah, it does. She committed suicide.
I mean,
Well, I'm just saying that considering all the other ways she could have killed herself, that's
What
all
other
I'm saying.
ways were there, really?
Oh well, there's plenty, but
Well, she
I'm not
could've
gonna get
thrown
into that.
Or
I'm not-
into a bigger lake or something. Yeah.
I mean,
well,
hell,
I mean, this is the only way that she could. I think it was the only way that, like, I know where the authoress was trying to go with it. She had to do it away from the family and at night, so they wouldn't find her and try to stop her.
Hell.
And that's the whole point.
Oh, that could have been great, but they could have also explained a subplot that she was allergic to bee stings. because that's why she's never out there. And then
Actually,
dead.
that would be a much
Wait,
better way to
what?
go out.
Really?
That
Are you
would
serious?
I'm just saying there could have been a...
That would be a better way to go out, actually. That would tie into the story about...
sounds
the
a lot
bees.
like My Girl.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's there's plenty of suicidal ways this could have happened. That's all I'm saying.
If we keep going with the what ifs and
I
buts,
feel so betrayed. What?
What?
What are
Okay.
your thoughts about this?
Quirky.
I mean,
Quirky.
I
Curly.
liked her.
Curly.
Look, okay.
Pick one.
Stop being difficult about my name, dagnabbit. But anyway, about May. May was a cool character. I liked her character. She was kind of like, I kind of want to say big sister, but I kind of don't, because she was basically like the little sister everyone took care of.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also not like she was completely helpless either. So it's like she was a lovable character. I mean, it was pretty messed up how sensitive she was. She was really, really fragile. So I can understand why her sisters kept from her the thing about, what's his name, Zach?
Yeah, Zach.
About Zach being missing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, she's a grown woman. You're still gonna eventually tell her the truth. Because, I mean, if they would have told her the truth, maybe without her having to find out later, I have a feeling she may not have had the inclination to kill herself. I mean, I know it's...
Well, because that's why it goes into an even darker problem. I was like, okay, well, if you're emotionally unstable, kill him or kill yourself, and then everybody else is happy ever after, I guess.
I liked her character. It's like
Yeah.
she was a very sweet character. But
And Darren?
I
So
don't
would you-
really think that either way, even if they didn't tell her, or they did tell her, I think she still would have done it. I think she was just so much on that psychological edge that eventually it was
true, even
Anything
if it
with-
wasn't this,
Whoa.
it could have been something
something
bigger
else.
may have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she
but...
could have killed herself after MLK died.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, true, but that goes into a whole thing where it's like, you know, are you sure that's what it is? Because you know, like, well, okay, you know, my, you know, stuff happens, and you know, like, you know, I had a relative that snapped and you know went into an insane asylum like years ago. And the whole thing is like the doctors kept telling my mom's side of the family, is like, oh well, this just happened. It could have been anything that set him off. And I'm like, there's a difference between anything could have set him off and you don't know what it was that triggered it.
Okay.
It could have been the death of my grandfather, or it could have been Mickey Mouse's voice actor changed. I don't know. But my point, is, it's like there's
Mickey
difference
Mouse,
between.
though? Really?
Yes, really. I'm still upset about that. Okay, I don't care that the guy died.
Oh my God.
Nah, I'm just playing. But anyway, it's just that whole thing where it's like, is what the doctor's saying true, or is it that, well, just so that the family doesn't worry about it anymore, and we don't have another instance in case one of y'all are crazy, it just happens.
I don't know.
I mean, because pretty much when a doctor's saying that, it's almost like the same as saying shit happens.
And then it actually could just be shit happens. But in the total contrast of how May died, April was a deliberate suicide. They never said in the movie that it was suicide.
Wait, what?
Wait a
So
minute.
her twin sister killed
Killed
herself on
exact same
purpose?
thing?
Yeah, her twin
Well,
sister.
then now
That's
this
part
part
two
makes...
as well.
Okay. All right. Her twin sister
makes
had a
sense.
lot of ambition as well, but then she found out really early on that she would never be just like she would never be like another white person in that era. Is like during that time that she would never strive to it, and because of that, and she found out that because she found that out at a young age or so forth, or she knew that would never happen, or she believed it never happened. She just like, why am I living? So she just killed herself.
But that makes more sense on why her sister killed herself, because it was another racial problem.
Yeah.
Why wasn't that in the movie? That would be something extremely important, especially for her character.
So,
Well,
I don't know why it's not in the movie.
How old was her sister when she killed herself?
I think like around 13, 14. It was around the time she
Damn.
wanted the same dress as another person and they couldn't get it for her.
Yeah.
That's something they probably should have mentioned in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just something.
Because I mean, I know they said it in
Wow.
a way that, well, no, just mentioning April would have set May off.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I would have said like they could have just said it straight out that she killed herself,
Mhm.
but I mean they said that she passed away,
Yeah.
and it set May
They-
off. I'm just like, well,
But that was, it's like, and because of her sister dying like that, that's why May snapped. That's why she had a breakdown.
Wow.
She didn't just pass away. She just offed herself. So.
Just like her other twin sister. Wow.
No,
It's
I'm
just-
even more confused.
I have no words.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Rosalie!
Would
Rosaline
that
by
be-
Jennifer Hudson.
Oh, Jennifer Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson, who plays basically, I don't want to say it, but
Lily's nanny.
Lily's nanny
That's
is
pretty much
played
what
by a stereotypical, like,
60s black woman struggling.
It's struggling 60s black woman,
In the
not
civil rights.
completely educated, not educated, but have some sense about herself, but not enough sense not to get herself in trouble. Sorry.
She can spell her name.
She can,
Oh, yeah, she proved that.
She proved that she can spell her name on a racist boot with sip, which is, I think,
Yes,
Coke.
and it's like knowing how to spell her name was worth getting punched in the face by an old white man.
But
But it's a pride thing.
it's a
She's
pride.
very prideful, yeah.
So-
Oh, I don't
let's-
doubt it, but again, it goes back to what you said earlier, is that whole like, would that have happened, or was this a modern day black person saying this in the past?
Is it?
Because I mean,
It was
that's like
okay.
because that's like the problems I have with a lot of retellings. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to go back in the past and be like, F you, we gonna get our rights someday. Except for the only problem is like you don't got rights now. So shut up.
Yeah.
I hope you get rights one day. It's not now, though.
Yeah, you
Takes
know.
him to
I
jail.
wouldn't want to get lynched.
No.
Yeah, you know, it's
no.
that whole thing of like, you know, all these people now. It's like, man, if I was back then, you know what I would have done?
You
And then it
got
would have been,
lynched.
it's like,
You
you
would've
would
got
have,
lynched.
you
You
would
would've
have
got
been
lynched.
picking cotton. That's what you would've been doing.
You would've
That
got
was a
lynched.
Sinbad joke, but you know.
But so my thing is like she's the catalyst. Is like her going into jail is the catalyst for, or like the call to adventure, we'll say,
For
for Lily to do something and find her mother.
Yeah.
Now I feel personally that she kind of fades into the background after that. Like, okay,
Yeah, she got her there. That's
Right,
about it.
that's about.
It kind of does. It's not like
She's-
she's not a very big focal point once they get to
Mhm.
Boat Rat House.
Mm-hmm.
Although she could be, if you think about it. If they really wanted to dedicate the whole movie to her.
Not really. Rosaline is just the,
I
she's
mean-
just the plot device.
She's a plot device,
That
yeah.
all. She's not
Yeah.
a character. She's a plot device.
Because, I mean, she does. Well, no, she doesn't really change.
No, she
Because she
stays
was
the
like,
same.
she had been kind of.
She didn't need
edgy.
change it.
It's like she didn't really need to change anything. It's like she wanted to vote. She wanted to do things. It's like she kind of wanted to be. I wouldn't want to necessarily put her in the independent black woman category, but she was aware of herself.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it's like, okay, we're gonna get rights. We're gonna do this. All right, I'm down with this. She was on the bandwagon. It's just that
It's like
she just her circumstances happened to not agree with that. Cause like she wanted to vote before when they were walking to town. She was talking about it,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, once they got there, it's like, okay, now I'm registered to vote. Yay!
Yeah.
People helped her register to vote,
End of character arc.
but
that's
that's,
my-
about it.
That's about
But that's
it.
my point. It's just I want to vote. No, you can't. Now I can. The end.
Well, also in the book, they focused also that she felt a little jealous of the Boatwright sisters because they were getting a lot of Lily's attention. Lily kept wondering about her mom, and like Rosaline, who can't have children, which is another thing.
Why can't she
Why
have
was
kids?
that not
No,
mentioned?
in the book, she is like they found is like her and her husband, the one that she kicked
Never
out.
talks about.
No, she talked about
No,
once.
that one
One
time.
time.
One time.
One time she
I'm
talked.
tired of this one-time stuff in this movie.
She
I don't want to look at this movie with a microscope to make sure I don't miss anything.
She said about one time is that her and her husband couldn't conceive and they couldn't have a baby. So basically,
Then
Lily
where the hell
is her.
is he?
She kicked him out.
She
So-
kicked him out because there was a one.
There was
Yeah.
one scene.
One scene. Remember when they're making pancakes?
Yes.
And
She's like, if she switched her husband's brain with the bird would fly backwards.
Yeah.
And so she kicked him out. And she was like, because they were talking about men or something like
Yeah.
that. Because
and
May was explaining to Lily why June does not want to marry him.
yeah.
She was kind of trying to get into that because
Yeah.
it's like Lily was coming in the house and she noticed that June and Neil
You
were
remember?
playing around.
No, I remember
being
that part,
flirty
but all I
and
heard
whatnot.
was...
Like, oh, don't pick me up.
No, I get it, but all I heard was there was a joke about a throwaway plot point that was never talked about. It was just, oh, my husband's stupid. That's why he ain't here.
But the point is that Rosaline sees Lily as her surrogate daughter, or because she took care of her ever since the mom was killed.
The
and
only
so-
inclination I got out of that
and
is
so-
because she made her a birthday cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she took
That
care of her.
automatically makes you mother material. I guess.
They really diminished a lot of what Jennifer Hudson's character was supposed to do. She was the cook, the cleaning woman, the nanny. She took care of. It's like she didn't live in the house, but she took care of her from sun up to sundown and then back home.
Yeah, but once they got to Queen Latifah's house, that
And
became Queen
like-
Latifah's role.
It became Queen Latifah's role also in the book as well, but in it, like Rosalie
And
was
May.
a little bit
And-
jealous because it's like she's accepting them and not. Is it because they're educated and blah 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 and all this stuff? Those are stuff that are put in the book minutely, and it's not like that much. They get resolved later on, but they don't show up here. So basically,
Yeah.
now I went to jail. Time for you to take me away, and here we are. Bye.
That does intrigue me of how, Jennifer Hudson would have played that type of role if they would have incorporated the whole jealousy thing into the movie. Because I think she would have actually done really well with that.
Actually, I got a question
What's
about
that?
her. How come the cops didn't get her?
Yeah, how come?
I mean,
Or
she
do they just
escaped.
not care?
I don't
Well,
know.
that's not like that. Usually,
She escaped custody, and she was a black woman that escaped custody.
usually when we hear
So
stories
we-
about that, they will find that black person
That's what I'm saying. that
and
each
make
one
them
of
have
these-
their
They'll
white
get
justice.
the CIA on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to find them, just
That's what
because
I'm
she
saying,
spit on
That's
somebody.
also why I'm still upset at her dad. It's been 4 months to find her. She's a little white girl. TVs are in existence. They could have put a picture up somewhere.
Yeah, because this is 1964. This is in
Exactly.
1950. They
Yeah.
would put pictures up. I have to agree with Quirky.
Yeah.
These pictures, there's television. They saw Lyndon B. Johnson sign paperwork with MLK on the television. They could have put her picture up on TV.
I agree.
I know they had the technology. Just like they could have put a
Well, they
description of something
and
of Rosalie
and I
on
still
television.
yeah, I still say, but that was in 1940, where the
60.
No, 60.
1964,
Yeah.
1940. Where it's like, yeah, TV was around, but I'm like, yeah, but they didn't exactly have the budget to be like, oh, we got $100,000, post this around, all of
then again,
wherever.
and
They still could have got the
People
information
still
out.
read newspapers though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, true.
There's media out there that could have helped him find both of them.
Nope.
And no one said anything.
Nope.
Maybe if they did, they could have.
I mean, either they
Yeah.
just didn't care enough.
Right.
No, but usually racists care.
Yeah, racists usually care.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, did her dad not care enough?
And if he didn't, why do you not care enough? That's just a lot of things.
I don't-
that-
I mean,
Yeah.
That's,
like, damn.
Nothing
how
was
does a
elaborated
13-year-old daughter
enough
go
in the
for
movie.
what?
There's a lot of holes that we're trying to fill in ourselves with this whole movie.
And
It's
I
just,
shouldn't,
we
have
shouldn't
to.
have to do that though.
especially if it was in the book.
No,
which you can't
we don't
say.
want to spoon that to us, but at the same time, it's
Makes my brain hurt.
Well, because like I said, it's
have a
not that I
throwaway
want-
line.
Well, it's not like I said, it's not like I want to be spoon fed, but you can't tell me it's like, oh well, we did mention it, and then that's it. It's like if you mention it once,
That's
that
not-
might have got you off the hook.
yeah.
Yeah.
But seriously, I'm just supposed to be like, oh shit, I missed it. So what I'm hearing is, if I went and took a bathroom break, I don't understand the film
Yep.
at all. That's
Yep,
That's-
that's true. You miss one scene, that's it.
All right.
Well, that's Oscar winning film.
But what do we? Is it? But what is it? But speaking of which, this got a People's Choice Award for Best Picture of 2008.
Okay,
Nice.
I got a question. Not that I'm trying to be mean, but do People's Choice Awards count?
Well, it's the people. Well,
Somebody voted.
We picked.
The
we as a collective said at 2008, this was good.
Yep, and
Yeah.
whenever
I
Twilight
was
came
like
out, it was
20 at
the
the time.
People's Choice movie.
What?
So
It was?
Twilight.
Yeah, no, that was Teen Choice
That was
Awards.
Teen Choice Awards.
Oh, my
That's
mistake.
That doesn't.
They don't count.
No, they do count. They do count for people.
I'm just kidding, guys.
They count, but just not as.
No, it's just I really want to know because, like, you know, I mean, this is off topic, but
Yeah.
it's like I don't really care either way because, like, Oscars, Teen, People's, they
It's
all.
also, but also it got a.
Golden Globe.
It
I
also
mean-
got an NAACP Best Picture award.
Okay.
No, I mean, I get that counts. It's just me. I'm not saying that they don't count, but it's just me. It's like, I'm not saying that getting the People's Choice Award is bad, but I'm at the point where it's like, is it that you got the People's Choice Awards because the people wanted it, or because you couldn't get an Oscar
Well, I don't know.
or an Emmy?
We'll hit that around when we get around to The Help because
Yeah.
that got an Oscar for something.
Yes, it did. It got an Oscar.
Yeah.
Like a lot of their supporting actors
Yeah.
and actresses got
Yeah.
an Oscar.
It got an Oscar. I'm not sure if it got Best Picture.
It didn't get Best Picture, but I know I think Emma Stone got a.
Yeah,
I don't
Emma's-
think she got lead.
No,
She did?
But some of her co-stars, like the black women,
She got supporting actor.
they got a lot of
supporting
stuff.
actresses.
Octavia Spencer and no.
I know her.
got award.
She's my favorite actress.
Horrible. I should
She is
know.
great.
I should know her name.
No, it's fine.
horrible.
It's okay.
Okay, but next question.
Yeah.
Question. Now, okay, we're done with Jennifer Hudson. I'm sure she did a great job in that. Now we're on to Zach Taylor, played by Tristan either Wild or Wilt.
This bastard here.
All right, so Zach Taylor. For in context, if you're still with us, Zach Taylor is the love interest of Lily Owens, and he is black during this so not
No,
happy time of America.
Oh, so he wasn't black before this
No.
time?
No.
Is that okay.
No, he was.
Now you know what you're
He
saying.
is black, and so go, my lovelies. What did you think about Zach Taylor?
He was
It
nice.
was cool. That's kind of all I got.
He was cutie pie role.
All right, so but he was
He
ambitious.
was essentially a cutie pie teenager who played his role well.
Yeah,
Addison.
that's all I got.
He was a shoehorned in love interest that didn't learn a damn thing throughout this entire movie.
He's a teenager, though.
Teenagers make mistakes.
You know what? Great. Teenagers make a lot of mistakes.
Hell yeah, though. Haven't you learned from TV by now?
Yes, and I also learned from TV that you should learn from them, or else just not evolve with everybody else.
Oh, come on, Joe.
No,
He
look,
loves-
no,
Yeah.
look.
All right. Let me have a central. Let me have a central question for you guys.
Okay.
Do you think that their relationship could?
No, I'm just looking off into space, and both of them are just laughing at me.
Okay. Do you think that their relationship, because is like his whole character arc is about their relationship? Do you think their relationship could have lasted? In the book, it was more it was more leaned onto it that they will never be together because of that. What their attraction and what they have is not ready for what time period that they're in. Now, in the movie, it's a little bit more hopeful because we have hindsight to, look at it 2020 or so forth. So what do you think? Do you think their relationship could last or could stand this is it the test of time, or is this just puppy love and wrong puppy love?
I'm gonna hope. I would like to say it does. I would like to hope it does last because that's the progression. Blacks and whites finally getting together and having love. That's kind of the future here. That's kind of where we want to go. But other than that,
Quirky?
Quirky.
To me, it kind of could have been puppy love because up until this point, you don't see or you hear mention of Lily being around any other males besides her father or any other people, you don't see her or hear her around any other guys around her age. That's like the first guy she's really around.
Yeah.
That's her age.
Oh, I guess you agree.
No one.
Yes.
No
I was
one
gonna say that, but
because I mean, she's surrounded by adults. You don't see Lily with any other girls her age or any guys her age for that matter. I mean, even though her dad was like pulled her inside when he thought she was with the boy, she wasn't.
Yeah.
It's like, because, well, you said like her unbuttoning her shirt and putting the picture to her stomach.
made no sense.
I mean, to me it makes sense because I think it wanted, to me, in my mind, it made me think like, okay, she wants to be literally closer to her mother.
Oh, I get that, but
she also could have just stuck it underneath the shirt. She didn't have to unbutton the lower half.
well, no, but that's why it
It
didn't make
didn't
any
do that.
sense because it just seemed like a point to make conflict, or it's
Well, in
like
the
we're
book-
gonna write it so that she unbuttoned the shirt. Why? Because we
Well-
want her dad to think that she was with the boy.
Yeah, that's exactly why they did it.
The book is really hazy on that part. I'm not even sure if it was in the book, but I do remember her taking off her shirt, but it was because it was hot, not because she wanted to press something close to her belly uterus or something.
Her
So-
ovaries.
Yeah, her ovaries.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah. But you wanted to say, Addison?
I guess you agreed with Curly over here.
No, I'm just saying it's just like for me, I don't get it because honestly, it's like, look, I don't doubt that their love actually could have been something, but with everything that happened and with the circumstances in it, there's no guarantee. Talk to me when she goes to school.
Okay.
Talk to me when she goes to school and is around other boys. Then we'll see if she's still in love with Zach.
Zach.
Well, here's my thing
And
about
then-
that. I mean, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
But in the movie, this guy literally took her to the movies, was going to do something with her. He got taken away by some white folk, got the hell beat out of him. You would think by then, no, I'm going to leave her alone. What did he do? He went right back to her and made out with her anyways. You would think.
My
They
point?
didn't exactly make out.
Okay, he gave her a kiss in the lips. All right.
Kiss, make out's the same thing.
It was,
Yeah.
You have
it
to
was
really-
just a long 2-kiss, 3-kiss.
Well, hey, lips were made
My thing
contact.
about this is,
Rockets went up.
my thing about this is, if this was truly puppy love, you would think after all of that, you'd be all like, okay, I'm gonna leave her alone.
But they're both ambitious.
Yeah.
But still, though.
But see, that's the problem I had too.
And they're teenagers, and everyone knows
Okay.
teenagers don't listen to adults.
No,
Or don't
but
listen to
but no, I don't even mind.
society
I don't mind
stigma.
that. But there wasn't even like hell. I would even like this if that whole thing happened in the middle,
Yeah.
and then he was like, "Man, if I wouldn't have done whatever with you, this wouldn't have happened." And then he left her alone. But because he loved her so much, he came back.
Well,
no,
because,
it's just
but it's not centered around the romance. It's centered around her.
no. I
Yeah.
know, but since
But
it's a
that would make it
subplot, they
great.
don't talk about it. It's just, well, I like you. I got beaten up for it.
Which,
So I really like it.
which is, I have to agree with you because the movie doesn't go in the book. The reason why they said that he was not going that it leaned on that they weren't going to ever get together is because he was really broken. In the book, he was gone for a week, and they did not find him for a week. They were holding him and just beating the shit out of him for I'm not sure whatever reason, but they don't go into detail. But the point is that they broke. It's like the racist men took him and they broke his spirit. He's like because by the end of it, he's like I don't think I want to be a lawyer anymore. I don't think I want to do blah blah blah. I just he was defeated, and so
You don't.
And
get
so
that
he had to
impression
build-
in the movie.
it's like but
You
he
sure
had to
don't.
build himself back up before. It's like for them to have a relationship, he would have to build himself back up brick by brick from what they took from him. So that's why in the book it's more like maybe nah, and then in the movie it's kind of like okay.
Yeah, you don't necessarily get that impression because I mean, you could tell that he was gone for maybe a couple days, but
Not a week.
not
weeks.
an entire week.
Yeah.
Maybe he was gone for 72 hours.
Yeah, no, he was
Well,
in
'cause-
jail. It's like he was in jail and the sheriffs were doing this to him. Sorry.
Well, no, they didn't
Oh.
even say that. For all I know,
Damn.
See,
I mean,
again, details like that changes my perspective entirely now.
Yeah.
because for all I know, I honestly, literally, I thought all they did is some random folks took him away, beat the crap out of him, sent him on the edge of town, and then he had to walk himself home.
No, he was in jail.
Well, if he was getting beaten up like that every day for a week, his character sure as hell didn't look like it.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like he just got messed around with for a little bit. Because
Yeah,
all he
it
had was
roughed him
like
up a little bit.
a black eye, a couple cuts above his head, and a busted lip.
And
That's not exactly getting beaten up for a week.
But since but it's
see,
not
that's-
that kind of novel, or it's not that kind of movie.
Well, no,
we're
but see,
not going to
that's-
go too deep into the brutality of it.
but see, that's my
so
problem.
I get why they didn't.
But
I
that
mean,
no,
you
I
don't
that
have
should
to
have
get
been
into the brutality to have him walking with like
a limp.
a limp or have him have like one of those crutches or anything. He could have had a crutch to see, so you could see like the severity of what he went through.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he just got up out the car. He was sad, but he just got up out the car.
Again, that leaves it up for interpretation, and it leaves it really with nothing else to really chew on. But okay, what can I make out of this? I hope this happens here. So yeah.
He had puppy dog eyes.
Mhm.
He was sad.
So
Okay.
that's the end of Zach. That's the end of Zach. And so our last character, our last person, is T. Ray Owens, and that is Lily. Well, T. Ray Owens and Deborah Owens, because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about that relationship.
Cool.
T. Ray is Lily's dad. Deborah is her mother. Deborah
dad.
is the little girl that August Boatwright took care of, and T. Ray was the man that married Deborah. So let's talk about that for a moment.
Actually, I got a
He's
question.
a dead big dad.
Okay.
Actually, I got a question about that.
Okay.
How old is August?
August
Because if the
Boatwright?
girl, if the girl's 14, right?
Yeah.
And then her mom got married to her dad at 22,
Mm-hmm.
and let's just say they got pregnant right quick.
Yeah.
So you're saying that she's pretty much was 30. She's pretty much 36 years. Because 36 years passed from the time her mom was born to August being 14 in the movie. I mean, not August. From Lily being born in the movie.
Yeah.
And August took care of Lily's mother.
Yeah.
At what age?
9.
At 9. Okay. So let's just say, for example, that the nanny, like, how old do you have to be a nanny back then? Or were you just like, what, 16,
Just
you're a
in the
I
nanny?
mean, you just have to be older than the child that you're taking care of.
Yeah, you can be
Period.
16.
So what, she was 10?
No, I mean, she had to be like at least 15, I guess. But she was during college.
Yeah, it was during her college year.
Yeah,
right?
during her college year. So she was like in her
So
20s.
she was already
18,
20
20,
something,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you're saying that, so...
Well, Latifah looks really good for her age.
A lot of black people do
True,
when they're
very
older.
true.
So that suspension of disbelief is not that hard to believe.
No, I mean,
She doesn't even have a whole lot of gray hair to show her age.
yeah.
You just kind of have to just believe
just
it.
go with it.
Just
Yeah.
go with
Yeah,
it.
just
No,
go with it.
no, I guess it's just, me, I was just kind of confused. I mean, it's just one of those things, again, where the answers are in the movie if you look closely at it.
No,
It's-
no, it's not.
Actually, not for that one.
Not for that one.
Well,
No, it's not.
actually, if you do the math, you can figure it out.
What math? Ain't nobody give no dates.
Time
It's all
frame.
speculation.
Time frame. Again, is a big issue with this
Yeah,
movie.
so-
because, I mean,
But it's like they said, it's like this
If you-
happened after she got home from college. Then there was that whole like, well, if she got up from college, she got whatever degree, she had to be blank and blank old, and then she was taking care of her. And if she got married between blank and blank, that means she's been taking care of her for umpteen years. And then August, and then no, not August, and then Lily comes up, and August and Lily is so and so years old, so that means that that the mom died at age blank, so she could be more like 46 years old.
can we
maybe.
not talk about this? This makes my brain hurt.
All right, T-Ray.
Alright,
You think about
back to
T-Ray.
T. Let's talk about T-Ray and Deborah. Okay, the one thing is like the one thing about Deborah, T-Ray, and all that. I had questions of like, why does she not why does she fall out of love with him? First off, I mean, like I wanted to have a point. I say for her to be depressed, to run away. For Deborah to be depressed, run away, come back, and to get her kid. Something
What happened in between?
What
Oh,
happened?
I love you. You're
And-
pregnant, and then What happened?
Yeah.
Why did
between
he
that?
get abusive? Well, he explained why he was abusive.
Well, I don't think
Yeah.
as he wasn't
To Lily,
To
not
Lily.
to
to
Deborah.
he
Yeah.
wasn't abusive to Deborah. That's the thing in the book and in here he wasn't abusive. I mean, he shook the shit out of her, but he
But
wasn't.
no, he hit her in the
He did it in the
movie.
movie though.
In that flashback, he hit her.
Oh yeah, that was but that was the first time. That was the first time.
That was the first time and only time.
So I'm
That was the
supposed-
first time and the only time that he ever hit her.
So I'm supposed to believe that's it.
I think that's the thing. In the book, it kind of is very vague of like why she fell out of love with him and why did this happen and blah blah blah.
Okay, so it's in the book as well.
Yeah,
Right.
so I'm just like it's vague. So it's like, how do you fall out of love
I
with?
didn't need that.
They
Yeah.
have PTSD or something.
They don't even talk about that.
Because I mean,
He
I
was
know-
decorated from the war, which
That's
is
what I'm saying. Like PTSD could happen from that. I see no other reason why he would be abusive.
Me either.
I mean,
I don't get it.
and especially if he worshipped her and then all of a sudden, there's usually like either he didn't say who he was, but it's obvious that he cared about her and that he wanted her to stay and wanted her to be with him. So that I think both the movie and the book failed to tell me like why that happened. All we know is that whatever the unsaid thing that happened is the catalyst for Deborah to go into a deep depression. So what did you guys think about? What did you think about Deborah's character and T-Ray's character overall?
T-Ray was a deadbeat dad.
Yeah, he was a dick overall.
I mean,
That's
he took care of his daughter to
Do you think-
an extent.
Do you think he's a bad guy?
no. I wouldn't say he's an antagonist. I don't think he was.
Well,
Life is an
as
antagonist.
much as in that, I mean, he's the closest thing to an antagonist we have in
In
the
the
film.
movie,
Yeah.
but he's
So-
not really like straight up. I'm a bad guy. I'm gonna take away my daughter and nobody's gonna have her. Because even then, he was still.
He's kind of just an ass.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Yeah.
That's just it.
He's an ass.
It seems like life is the antagonist.
Yeah, it's like something had to have happened to them
Mm-hmm.
for her essentially to stop loving him. Or
Mhm.
well, she said she fell out of love. What if like she married him and well, the fact that I have to say what if?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, no, because she married him after she already knew she wasn't in love. Because that's what
So
August
the
said.
whole thing is she got pregnant and she married him anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, that's
Because
great.
back then
but
it's-
why did she not love him, or why did he
Yeah.
not love her? It's just, oh, I got tired of you. Oh, I'm pregnant.
Guess we're
Guess
getting
we're
make it
getting
work.
married. I guess.
I guess.
I mean, I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but
it was
I
the
mean,
50s, I'm assuming, when they got married. So
Well, 64 and she's 4. Yeah. 50.
yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily just get a divorce out the blue,
oh no, I'm not saying that.
especially if you're a woman.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there's just the whole thing of there's no reason why she stopped loving him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
She did.
hey, it's like, hey, you're a war hero. That's so hot. And then it's like, man, I'm just so sick of you. Why? Oh wait, I'm pregnant. Let's forget about the whys.
Yeah.
Guess we're getting married, right?
I guess it happens, and that's what it's like. It's just like that's what happens when you don't have a good relationship. I guess.
No, but again, it just goes back to there's so many subplots that we don't actually dive into why this is important.
Yeah.
It's just, it is. Accept it.
About that song.
Well, But what did you think about her leaving Lily behind the first time? I mean, is it first time and she just coming to boat ride by herself? Do you think that was selfish of Deborah to do? Do you think, or she wasn't thinking straight, or
That's not enough for me to really answer that question because again, we don't know much about who
All
Deborah
I can
is.
do is like go off of what August said. It's like when you're depressed, you do things that you don't normally do.
Yeah.
But
I
what
mean-
did she do?
What did
Well,
she do?
when
she left her child?
She let like when she came to her, because like her dad, T-Ray said that her mother left her.
Mm-hmm.
He was telling the truth about that. She really did leave
Mm-hmm.
and left her behind. But it's not. She was like depressed. She said that she was thin when she got off the bus. She was depressed. She was really down. But after she had stayed there for a while, she's like, I want my kid. So she went back and she tried to get her,
Mm-hmm.
but she died.
Mm-hmm.
So she could not take her child with her and go back to the boat rides.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like she was depressed. She wasn't mentally in a good place. So I'm guessing that's why she left. But instead, it's like her dad, the T-Ray, got angry because instead of coming for him, she just came to get the girl and leave because she didn't want him no more.
That's all we got.
That's
Yeah.
all you can go off of, strictly based on the movie, with no other backstory. That's all you can really do.
Addison.
No, I got nothing to say about this because I mean, in all honesty, I got no words.
You can pretty much say it for you.
I mean, there's nothing to say because there's nothing about this guy. It's just he's her dad, and she was her mom, and her mom is the magical MacGuffin that propels the story forward. What happened to my mom?
I guess the one thing I can't say about T-Ray, her father, it's just, he did care, I guess, a little bit about her because he did say happy birthday to her. And then he did. I'm not saying he's the most loving father in the world, but you gotta have some type of soul to at least say, "Hey, happy birthday."
Well, or he has, I think it's like he doesn't know what to do with her because it's like he doesn't know
that too. Because like when Rosaline said that, it's like I'm going to town and I'm going to get her a training bra, and he's just like, how much does that cost?
Yeah.
He's still giving.
Yeah, I know, because it's so obvious that he cares. He just doesn't know what is it that he does.
He doesn't know how to, because it's like.
I think this might be fuzzy, but we'll see.
Well, no, it's just it's fine. No,
Okay.
it's like, again, we don't get any answers until right at the end of the film, where it's like, oh, he's mad at the daughter because he's thinking of his ex-wife or dead wife or
dead wife.
Yeah, dead wife. So then it's like, oh, that's why he's a dick, because he's still mad at her and he's taking it out on his kid. And before that, you can just assume
he's just abusive.
Yeah,
that's just all we got.
I don't think he's he's mentally abusive. I don't think he's
he's abusive. Once you put your hands on somebody, you're abusive.
Well, yeah, I know that, but.
Well, no, it's just that's.
Okay, but that's maybe
because it's like the movie doesn't show him physically hurting her until the very end.
No, it's not that. No, I get that, but my point is, no, I know what you're saying, but my point is like, well, all I saw is that he hit the mom, and you can tell me all day and night that in the book that was the first time, and that might be true, but all I'm seeing is, well, he hit the mom, so why wouldn't he hit the kid? Why wouldn't this be the first time? And not to mention, when he did hit her in the movie, she didn't act surprised. Mm-hmm. He was like, smack, daddy, wake up.
Yeah.
So it's like, it sounds like it's happened before.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no real consequence to him hitting them or anything.
So there's nothing really more to say about Deborah or T-Ray.
No. T-Ray's just a drunk.
They were just plot points.
Yeah.
I mean, the ending point where he
took
actually
too damn long to find her.
Yeah.
I'm still upset about this. 3 to 4 months. Oh my gosh, she could have died. Just imagine the kind of things that could happen in a 3 to 4 month period, and your daughter is out somewhere and you have no freaking idea where she is. Damn. It is.
Even if it was 3 to 4 weeks, it's still that's
a
long
ass time.
I know.
Oh my god.
So Paul Bettany played T-Ray. So how did you guys? Paul Bettany played T-Ray. So did you find him believable? Yeah.
Acting was great. I feel like everybody in the movie pretty much did a pretty good job.
I believed everyone.
Yeah.
That's why I'm still upset.
Because it wasn't them. It was pretty much the story and just the overall directing of it. It's just like, man. I don't know. Is there any more characters though?
Nope. That's all of the
Everyone
major.
else is minor.
Everybody else is kind of a minor character, unless you want to talk about racist number 5,
or the lawyer,
or lawyer number 1. But so now we're going to come to rating and overall analysis, or overall just what you think about it. So we'll start with it's out of 1 to 5 stars.
1 to 5 stars?
Yeah. So Deluxe Man, you're up first.
Good movie. 3 stars out of 5.
3 stars out of 5.
I felt like, despite the lack of time frame, just not really establishing what's really going on in the movie, the acting was really done well. The story was decent enough to where I can follow it, and I did have some investment to some characters to at least like it. You know, I like the context. They played very well to the times and everything. So yeah, I understand why it got People's Choice Awards and whatever awards it got. 3 stars.
Addison,
I give it a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
I just give it that because I mean it's well acted and it's well done. It's just my whole problem is like my problems with it are nitpicky.
That's all we can really, yeah.
But I mean, most of my problems are nitpicky, and everything else is just the whole them not actually explaining why something is whatever. And since there's so many subplots squeezed together, everything feels watered down.
Okay.
And that's why I give it a 3.
Okay. Quirky,
3.5.
3.5.
How dare you?
Go ahead.
Because I can. But as I was saying, all of the characters are believable.
Mm-hmm.
I give it that. Like when you're watching it, you're kind of into it. It's only afterwards when you really think about it, it's like, holy shit, that does not make a lick of sense.
Right.
So it's like when you're watching it, like just straight through, it's like, okay, I understand what's happening. I feel for these characters. These characters are believable. They can be real people, but there's certain things that don't necessarily make sense once you go back and think about it, and not necessarily in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so 3.5.
Yeah.
I like the characters.
As an adaptation, I'm from the person that read the book. I will give it a 4.
Wow.
How
Really?
dare you?
Because she can.
Because she can. It's her rating, boy.
The reason why you, the listener, this will be the first installment that you get, but out of all the ones we've done so far, this movie is to me kind of the best adaptation. It takes the core elements that are in the novel and they use them. Now they're watered down because we have time constraints that's on it that we have to think about. And also the budget and everything. So taking all of that account, it did the best that it could with the material that it had. With the material that they had and limiting that material. Mm-hmm. So the characters were on par of what they were supposed to do, watered down. So that's why it gets a 4. Overall, I wanted to watch this. I wasn't looking at this movie saying that wasn't like in the book and that was wrong and that was wrong. I wasn't angry about it. I was just like, oh, I see that they took this out and it's okay. And like it was not. It's like whatever. Well, all the stuff they took out didn't. I guess for me didn't need to be in there completely. There are some things it's like it should have been to help explain, but that's about it. And I enjoyed the movie. I liked where it's going. And I would like Sue Monk Kid more than anything to write a follow-up book to see like what happens to Lily when she's older, because that's something I would love to see. But that's just me. So that's why I give it a 4 out of 5 stars.
So the best movie we've seen so far.
It's the best movie we've seen so far.
We.
Yeah.
You.
All right. So thank you for joining. Thank you for being with us, not joining us because you were here. And I will see you next week.